Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Tuesday, April 11th, and Bitcoin is above 30K. Well, actually, right now it's not above 30K, but it did get above 30K yesterday, and it did get above 30K again today, and it is now hovering around. Well, actually, I mean, it actually depends on what exchange you're looking at. I'm looking at an aggregate price of 29,964 right now, and I'm looking at a Binance price of 30,070 right now. So depending on where you're looking, it's above 30, but it is around 30 no matter where you are looking. So great news on that standpoint, but let's go ahead and dive in and see if we can figure out what's going on next. So DXY has been very odd. Yesterday, it obviously dropped back down to the 102 level. It's now holding there. We did say that 102 to the TTC community is kind of the line in the sand for today. So above 102, and you're talking about getting back to 102.5. Below 102, you're talking about sliding down to that 101.5, maybe 101.2 level. So no real inference to glean here, but obviously if it does continue higher, it gets tougher for risk. And obviously it continued lower yesterday, which was great for risk, but is now, consolidating and trying to show its aggression. So we definitely want this to continue lower, but could continue, and be volatile around 102.5. Obviously, when it is decreasing, risk is obviously increasing at a level that is tough to claw back all of it when DXY does rise. So, it's continue to use this as a general weather vane. When DXY is moving up, risk is slightly pulling back. When DXY is moving down, risk is having a great day. So we know that. And obviously, we'll see a lot more action out of DXY tomorrow, because if you remember, tomorrow is the CPI projection. So the projected amount is a drop 0.9% for CPI, which is a pretty large drop. But the issue is that core is expected to rise slightly. So we definitely want both of these to meet or beat expectations, meaning we want 5.1% lower for CPI and we want 5.6% or lower for core. If we get either of those, or if we get both, we should get, we do want both of those. So if we get both meet or beat, I would expect DXY to then move lower and equities and crypto to move higher. So this is the big data point for tomorrow. If you believe that inflation is decreasing, then you are probably placing longs overnight for bullish volatility. And if you believe that inflation is not decreasing at the rate that the government believes, then you're placing shorts because you're fading this current rally and you think that obviously the Fed has more work to do. So this is the momentum pivot point moving forward for the week. So momentum will either continue with good data tomorrow, or we will pivot and pull back on lackluster data tomorrow. So very much something to consider there. We want 5.1% or lower for CPI. We want 5.6% or lower for core CPI. If we get that, good things continue in the market. So looking at equities, no crazy price action like we saw in Bitcoin, but we have been gradually moving higher. We did gradually move higher throughout Monday, stalled, of course, at the 41.15 level, and that's where we are stuck right now. So where we were trading very early this morning was right around the VWAP. I said if we hold the VWAP, we can get back above the previous daily close. Then we can start talking about getting back above 41.20 and attacking 41.40. Obviously, that has played out so far, but we are at resistance. So just to kind of give you a quick update, if 41.20 fails, then we are back to 4100 like that. And if we can get above 41.20, then we are moving like that. And obviously, if we get back to the VWAP, then if the VWAP breaks down, then we're back to the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average. And if the VWAP holds, then we are ranging and then potentially hoping for a break higher. So equities are very simplistic. And of course, we know that, tomorrow is the big number. So, there's probably not going to be too much crazy volatility today, but going into tomorrow, obviously the big number comes at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So very early in the morning, an hour before markets open. So plenty of time for volatility to come in and momentum to entrench itself as we move into the into the rest of the day and into the weekend. So looking at Bitcoin, obviously big boost. I drew some lines where we have some supports and resistance lined up. So your Monday range is technically all the way from down here at 28 point, pretty much 28.1 all the way up to 30. But there's a lot of, small pivot points in between. So resistance right now is obviously 30.4, just above that. I've got another support level right here at about 29.9. Got another support level that coincides with the weekly VWAP right now, right around 29.4. And then we've got obviously the 28.6 support, which was resistance that we broke through yesterday. So to stay, to continue on bullish trajectory immediately, we want to stay above, 29.9. And currently we have been, staying above that 30K level for several hours. We obviously, got above it last night, had a quick dip, pumped back up. We've got a couple of wicks below 30, but we've been staying above 30 pretty much since then. So current line in the sand is 30K. Get above 30K, you can go above 30.2 and then reattack 30.4. Get above 30.4, you're obviously moving higher. Get up to this, area. So you've got this kind of demand zone right here because all of your candles have stopped here and you've got this wick. So if we get up here, anywhere between 30.2 and 30.4, you're going to see some shorts come in. So shorts will then try to attack that back to 30K and or 29.8K. If you get below 29.8K, you have, 29.6 and obviously 29.4. Below 29.4, you pretty much got a massive gap right here. Which would obviously not be good. So the moral of the story is we really ideally want to stay above 29.4. We can go as low as 29.2, maybe 29 flat, but above 29.4, good things happen. Above 30K, obviously the best things continue to happen. So we did just get hit with some news that apparently Justin Sun was arrested, which, definitely caused some selling on the chart, but quickly recovering. Price, we're seeming to see a lot of buying happen, right around this area too. I really truly do not know exactly where we're going to go from here. If I was a betting man, I would say that we're probably just going to chop into tomorrow morning when CPI comes in. But obviously, once Asia wakes up this morning, if they like price, they could certainly do something like this and lift, things back above 30.4. But just knowing that CPI is tomorrow, personally, from trading from a US-based perspective, I've closed my longs, and I am now, patiently waiting for the next move. I'd like to see a potential another pullback to 29.8. Wouldn't mind seeing 29.4, but I do also have a feeling that we're probably going to be, again, stuck in this range at least until tomorrow. And I feel like the most likely case is a break higher, just, my heart of hearts right now, but I'm not fully trading that as I want to wait to see how the daily close happens, which of course, 8 p.m. Eastern. And that'll be right around when Asia, of course, wakes up as well. So really good, to see the, really good to see how that price action comes through towards the end of the day. And I've said this many times, best time to trade US Open, as well as, the global close, which is, US Open is 9:30 ET, global close is 8 p.m. ET. So in my opinion, best to play it patient. But if you really do have a bias, you really do want to trade, I think your longs will be safe as long as you're longing dips and not longing after price has already gone a little bit higher. So I'm seeing Joe mention some stuff in the chat. Yeah, I'll be up at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow too, Joe. West Coast life is not the best, but we are done with trading around 2-3 p.m. every day, sometimes earlier. So that's a blessing in itself. And then a lot of longs are closing at this level, and we're actually going to talk about alts and my feelings on that in a second. After we talk about ETH, definitely feel like there are alts that are going to outperform, but the majority of alts will not. So let's go ahead and talk about Ethereum, because we obviously know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Get above 30.4, good things happen. Below 29.8, bad things happen. And if you're stuck in the range, then you're just stuck in the range. So and obviously you're shorting resistance, long support. Probably won't be shorting a lot of resistance. I'll probably only be looking for longs until we get an ugly, like hourly or 4-hour or daily candle. So I think you're looking for longs here, but certainly, there are shorts that can be, be made in profit. But in my opinion, if you're shorting right now, you're looking for the wrong trade. So, but I'm welcome to be proven wrong. So looking at ETH, the fascinating thing is obviously Bitcoin well above the previous high, ETH still below previous high. So, and obviously, dipping back lower. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the 1 hour. Told to trade the chain community. If we dip below 1910, then we are back towards the VWAP, potentially 1890. So the VWAP was 1895. Tag the VWAP, seeing some nice buy action here. It's a nice little hourly candle. Still have 30 minutes left here, so can't exactly glean anything from that yet, but this is the reaction you want to see at support, which coincides with both the VWAP and previous resistance here. So definitely want to see, but obviously we need to get above the previous daily close, then we need to get above the local high, then we need to get above the previous high. So that's really the trajectory that we need to see. And just like Bitcoin, if we stalled at the high, you're getting sold right back down into the VWAP. And if you break the VWAP, you still have obviously 1890 to hold. But if you lose 1890, then you're probably back down to the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average, which will be around 1870, potentially 1865. So, although you could draw this here, I think the resistance level is better focused on up here, but it is worrying because this could be potentially a double top. You could roll over here. You definitely do not want to see a lower high when you're talking about a local high less than a week ago. So this was last Wednesday, today's Tuesday. We do not want to see this roll over. If this rolls over, it's not going to be a good thing for anybody. This is plausibly a double top as it stands right now. We need to see this kind of recover at this mid-range area and move higher. So it certainly still has a chance to recover in the mid-range, but is obviously looking precarious right now, and we certainly want that to recover. So if you're looking at this, look at ETH BTC. We definitely deviated back below the range. It's not looking good for alts in my opinion, but there are a few outlying alts, and I'll go ahead and just share a few charts with you. Sol is definitely an outlier, as you can see here, broke above the mid-range. I would say it's probably going to attack the high end of the range, but it also needs to break above the 24 level. 24, obviously key resistance and mid-range of the top half of the range. Another one is Didex. Didex is, pretty decent chart. Higher, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high. Needs to make another higher high here. So the recent market structure has been good. It's above the estimated 200 moving average on the 1 day. It's above the VWAP. We want to see this continue higher. I would say decent target would be 3.2, 3.3. So pretty solid chance here. And of course, thinking about dexes and exchanges, exchange tokens obviously perform well when exchange venues have large volume, because large volume means more revenue. So if more revenue is happening for the exchange, then maybe the token gets a play. So definitely looking at Didex as well. Another one that I've talked about a lot is CFX, which had a nice boost off of the trend line yesterday, obviously having a nice pullback today. If we get back to the trend line again, probably look for another long here, but also probably worth looking for longs right around this level as well. Coincides with the low of the VWAP band and also the high of where we traded on April 5th. So something to watch out for there. And then I'm trying to think if there's any other one. I think LTC is worth mentioning as well, because the halvening, I think, is coming up in 4 months, maybe 320 days. It's getting close, and for some reason I can't do the alphabet right now. Here's LTC. So LTC has had some nice price action. I actually have not been really charting this. I've just started to follow back along with it, but really good dump and recovery. Starting to stall up here. Halvening is in a couple months. So if it can bounce pretty much above this level, if you can get back above this level here, stay above the VWAP, bounce back above 95, then then you've got a pretty good chance to continue to head higher. So definitely something we want to see out of LTC soon. If it does deviate back in here and lose the VWAP, then it's going to be probably trickle down, something like that. So we definitely want to see strength continue. And of course, we definitely, just as we've always been talking, if equities continue north, crypto is probably picking up, some of the benefit of that. But obviously, in my opinion, I still think we're probably going to be relatively flat today until CPI comes in. We got a big boost. Open interest and all of the leverage is starting to get flushed out. Some more will occur in the next 12 to 24 hours into the CPI tomorrow, and then we'll have another washout and a lot of fun trading again. So while I could be wrong in terms of relatively flat trading today, and that could change around Asia open, definitely think that it's the most likely case for now. But I'm still bullish overall, provided CPI comes in at or lower than expected. So good luck. Happy trading. Speak to everybody tomorrow. And again, if you're not in the Trade the Chain community, that's where all of the daily trades go in. There's 20 trades available per week at minimum in the Trade the Chain community for our members. So if you're not in there, you're missing out on 20 trades a week. So good luck. Happy trading, and see everybody tomorrow.